the word to the best you can. After you write on one page, go to the next page and keep writing, okay? Lori, let's read it together. My best friend has a robot named Switch. That's a pretty cool story.
My name is Emily Degrees. I am from Thibodaux, Louisiana, and this is my second year in the program. Our School of R.O.C.K is such a special summer program. We get to work with kids in the fall, and of course I worked with them in the schools, but we get to be one-on-one with them during this time. They don't have any other school going on. We get to really focus on what their needs are. We can adapt and see what do they need, what can we do to help them.
My name is Kevin Jones. I am an associate professor in psychology and director of the School of Psychology program here at LSU Shreveport. Our students were getting a lot of testing and assessment, but they weren't getting near enough real-world intervention experiences with kids. So we decided that over the summer we would develop an academic camp for local kids. It's the School of Reading and Organization for Cool Kids. And that's because we work a lot on reading and literacy, but we also work on executive skills. Our goal is not just to make gains, but to avoid that summer brain drain that happens to so many kids, especially at that particular juncture between second and third grade. So we're very pleased and happy and proud of the fact that a lot of the kids make gains, but we also know that those 3 weeks may possibly make the bridge between second and third grade just a little bit easier. The summer program is designed to address both the teaching outcomes of that course, our research goals, as well as service to the community. So all 3 of those things. We typically have about 8 to 10 school psychology students. They're graduate students, and this is toward the end of their training, so they're very familiar with most of the procedures. They've practiced them in class and all that. The assignment is to implement and evaluate a series of strategies to improve reading, writing, and math skills. We train all the students on the daily schedule, and everything that we've learned over the years about how to get the most out of 3 precious hours. Embedded in that daily schedule is research. During the reading sessions, we are actually collecting data to address a particular instructional hypothesis. You know, which is a better way to teach an unknown word, this way or that way.
So actually part of our program, we all have individual research projects that we produce. And so my research project involves implementing this executive functioning intervention. It's called HOPS. It's from our National Association of School Psychologists. And what we did was we modified it and tweaked it to meet the needs of the students that come into School of R.O.C.K. So executive functioning skills are things like attention, memory, organization. And so School of R.O.C.K has always helped kids with their academics. We do reading, writing, and math, but actually we're helping them now to keep track of their homework, to organize their materials, to put things in a planner to keep track of what their homework is. And so we know that kids, we see this in our experience, they don't just struggle with school because they don't know the material. They struggle because they forget their homework. They don't remember to do things. They can't keep track of their assignments. They can't remember to break things up to study. And so now School of R.O.C.K is helping them even more so by promoting those executive functioning skills along with the academics so that we have optimal outcomes when they go back to school in the fall.
It's not just that Emily has created a new thing for us to do each day, but she's actually designed an incredibly elaborate study to investigate the effects of it. She will leave this program better off than it was when she came because of this homework piece.
My name is Coleman Guidry. I'm originally from New Orleans, Louisiana, but I've been living in Shreveport for the last 5 to 6 years, and I am completing the master's program in school psychology. And it's been a really enriching experience. Being able to see the kids' reading growth in real time over such a short span of time has been really incredible. It's the first time in the program where I've been able to kind of take what I've learned and apply it in a way that allows me to feel like what I'm doing has some value. Like what I've learned is actually applicable and will be useful in the field and for improving the lives of other people.
He's probably, I would dare say, better than any other student I've seen at making a nervous, disgruntled child feel at home at our clinic.
In other words, that's the level where they should be.
The most important thing there is, the most important lesson that they learn and that they'll keep for the rest of their career is that every child can learn to read. Every child can learn to behave, no matter what they bring, no matter how far behind they are, no matter what else is going in their lives. If they have an appropriate teacher, coach, mentor, psychologist, counselor, if they have appropriate relationship with someone, they can turn things around, no matter what. And that's what gets you through the horrendous pressures of being an educator and working with children who are struggling.
With the authority vested in me by the LSU in Shreveport College of Education and Human Development, I confer upon each of you a master's in repeated reading.
And you see it magically at our graduation ceremony when you see a child who came that first day with arms folded, not wanting to read, not wanting to be there. And they don't understand why they can't be at the pool all day like their friends. And then by the end of the program, they don't want to leave. They're tears. And especially when they say, can I come back next week anyway? It's just wonderful.